Hello and welcome to yet another live conversation here at Nandi News. We're coming to you live from County 029 from the heart of Kapsabet, right here from the Speaker's office. And of course, when you hear Nandi County, what comes to your mind? It is synonymous with one of the youngest leaderships in the country. And our guest today is quite amazing, as one of the youngest speakers actually in the country. That is Honorable Joshua Kiptoo. And yeah, let's just dive into this, and of course remember to share this conversation on Nandi News, both on Facebook and on YouTube, and just following through. Thank you so much, Bona Speaker, for making time and allowing to speak to us.
Thank you so much. My name is Joshua Kiptoo, as you've said, the Speaker County Assembly of Nandi, serving now my 4th year as a Speaker, having been bestowed that special privilege by our honorable members of County Assembly. We have 30 wards, so those are 30 elected and 9 nominated. Welcome to Nandi, and I hope you've had a chance to see what our work entails. Because most of the time, I think the work of the County Assembly has always been misunderstood. Importantly, the office of the Speaker, and what the Speaker does and what the Speaker can do.
Yeah, we're going to get right into that.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, you have a lot of good points there.
Yeah.
But I mean, just we came here almost like 3 hours ago, and we've seen how hectic you've had, sort of like almost 3-4 meetings, quick ones. I mean, how does your typical day look like?
Now, my typical days look like on Monday, we normally have committee meetings. The Speaker chairs around 4 committees. At the same time, I chair the County Assembly Service Board, and at the same time, I also participate in the liaison that brings together all the chairpersons of the committees. So Monday is mostly committee work and meeting people who are not members of the County Assembly, especially citizens, Nandi County citizens. We give chance them to be able to see the Speaker, especially courtesy of the MCA. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are now the busiest, because for the 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have sessions. Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday we have double sessions, and Thursday afternoon. So that would mean most of my day is spent on preparing for plenary, at the same time following through plenary resolutions, starting from motions, bills, statements, petitions. I have to go through them, and in most of those cases it's very interactive. Internally, I have to sit, go through with the teams, and more than that, we also have to listen from outsiders. If they are the one bringing petition, they are the one seeking a statement, a follow-up. That is the most important thing. Friday is a lowdown, because now Friday we normally now proceed possibly report writing, and alternatively I'll be doing events outside the County Assembly. Saturday, Sunday is busier because we are now out in the field. We have to account to the people.
Oh, really?
And
I thought
as a Speaker,
Sundays would be probably
not at all.
Easy.
As a Speaker, I decided to speak out and come out to the public and be able to make people understand, because they need to demystify what we do as an assembly. If that communication doesn't flow out, it becomes difficult. So on a typical Saturday, Sunday, I do an average of 5 to 6 events in a day.
Woo! That is a handful of work.
Thank you.
Yeah, talking of civic education, we're gonna get back to that later on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want people to know you as a person. Who is this man? Who is this man? Dramatically, somebody would say you shout order for a living. Who is this man? When did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Just all about that.
I am a young patriotic Kenyan. I call myself a nationalist. I believe in Project Kenya. Having been born, raised, school, and done everything in Kenya. I was born in Chemursoi, Chemase. That is in Tindret sub-county. We border Miwani or Kisumu County. In fact, my first primary school I did in Miwani. That is in the Luo Nyanza side. And then I proceeded to Kobujoi. That is the headquarters of Aldai. By then, Chemase was still part of Aldai. Then I proceeded to a boarding school in Nandi Hills, Kapsimotwa, from class 5, I think, up to my class 8. That is 99 to 2002. Then I finally proceeded to Kapsabet Boys, where I did my O-level. So KCSE in 2006. I was successful, proceeded to University of Nairobi to do law. That is between 2008 and 2012. And then subsequently, after I remained in Nairobi, when you talk about a hustler, we represent the same. Because I remember my first work was to do online writing, because I couldn't get internship or
actually most students when they're out of uni, they do online writing. We
were among the first people to start doing online writing, where you are paid around 300 bob a page.
Exactly.
Because you have rent to pay. And once you finish university, you can come back home to the village.
To do what?
And my parents retired. My father retired in 07. My mother was retiring the other day in 2018. and I wouldn't fathom myself going back to the village and asking them to provide for me. Then I think I graduated in 2012. 2013 I did my Kenya School of Law, which is the ATP advocacy program. But I was lucky also to be given partial scholarship back at the university because I served as a student leader. And I think during my time we had a very good cordial relationship with the school, at the same time without forgetting our core mandate about the plight of the students. So I did my master's from 2013 September, when I was also sitting my KSL exams, and then I was successful in both. I graduated with my master's in 2014 December. KSL I was able to conclude and was admitted to the bar in 2015 May. But before then I was also teaching. I was teaching legal courses in Joshua College, which was my first formal job. At the same time, I got part-time classes in KCA University. That is from 2014. Luckily, as I was finishing my master's, I was absorbed by the University of Nairobi to be a student trainee. Then I became a tutorial fellow. So I stayed in the university doing tutorial fellow, teaching legal courses in Chiromo campus, Kabete campus, main campus, School of Architecture and Engineering. Then finally, to the School of Law from 2015 up to when I was elected as a speaker in 2017. And I came along to be a speaker. I used to be very active in media because the role I would play in the 2017 election was to be among the people that would emancipate and enlighten people on issues.
How old were you when you became the speaker?
I became a speaker at the age of 28. That is in 2017 September. Yes.
Well, I mean, the way you just give out these old points flowing in, sort of, somebody would think back then you had a sort of like a vision board where you stipulated, I'm going to be here at this point. I mean, did you ever sort of like imagined something close to that possibility?
Not at all. I only imagined myself to have a normal career path. Maybe things moved in faster between 2013 and 2017. But don't forget, I was jobless from 2012. Like 2012, I was jobless.
You are the real hustler.
Yeah. I was just doing online writing, which doesn't concern anything with the law. Number two, I only got a chance to intern in a law firm in 2014 because opportunities aren't there as people think. More importantly, I had to venture into teaching. I was teaching a college at the same time going to school because how do I pay my fee? By working. I was a part-time KSL student. I couldn't afford to do full-time because I couldn't go back to my parents for fees, yet they have already paid for me up to 4th year. And you can imagine in KSL, our fee at that time was 195, a tall order for us to raise. In fact, it is from my working as a lecturer at Oswald, that's why I was able to pay. And I remember I would really plead with my teachers at KSL that, you know what, for you to be able at times to miss some of the classes is because you're working hard to get fee to be able to be in class at Kenya School of Law. But if you ask me whether it was pan out, I don't think so. I think humility and being just ready when the opportunity beckons. And I am from a school of thought that there's never a right time. You create the right time and have the humility to accept what you can be able to achieve within whatever time is available.
Wow, that is quite incredible.
Yeah.
So before we actually got into the plan for this sit down and setting up at your office, you had to rush in for a sort of it was a budget appropriation committee report on county fiscal strategy or something.
Okay.
I mean, I know the county assembly of Nandi has done immense sort of bills and everything here and there. I mean, for you, what are some of those highlights and things that you're proud that during this point in time we actually push for this and this and this?
Now, one of the things that people need to, especially Nandi County residents, must see, County Assembly has a unique responsibility of representation, oversight, and legislation. On matters legislation, in fact, we were doing our motion and bill tracker. We've been able to do 54 motions from the time I came in. The number of bills we've been doing on average of 8 to 14 bills in a year. And we are trying to hit our target because as per our strategic plan, we were targeting to do at least 40 to 50 legislations as a county assembly. We are 3/4 way done. Going to our last year, we are almost there. More importantly, when it comes to oversight, our biggest achievement has been to revolutionize the idea of public participation. Take it from county headquarters, sub-county headquarters, and make it a ward level exercise. That is very important. But the best public participation that we've been able to undertake for the citizens of Nandi and Kenyans as a large, running our sessions live. Our plenary sessions are live proceedings in Facebook, WhatsApp,
online.
YouTube. with a view of opening up the channel, that anyone within this republic that comes from Nandi can follow what we do. But more importantly, like today we were doing the budgetary document. One of the concerns I've had, and I've been raising it on my public platforms, that the county executive led by the governor has failed, because on our part, if you look at the compliance level on matters budget documents, we've successfully been doing it. Like today, I would invite you to look at our report that we've adopted on the CFSP 2021-2022. It comes with a lot of honesty and reality. One, we tell him, stop lying to people that we raise on source revenue of 600. We only put a cap of 300 because that is what we can be able to raise. Number two, you can't tell the residents to raise revenue, yet you don't provide the services. And we've shown that money is always budgeted for. Like, I'll give you highlights. We've put bursary 120 million. We've done 90 million for ECD centers. That is 3 million per ward. We've gone further and says water. For the last 3 years, they have failed to execute our projects, despite our putting money. Now we are throwing the last money at them, so that if they fail on this one, it will no longer be up to us. We want the citizens to be the ones to see. We've put in 240 million. That is an equivalent of 6 million per ward to be able to execute that. So the summary of that is that we have successfully done our bit. We cannot be 100%, but I will give ourselves 60% on matters legislation, on matters motions, on matters representation, on matters oversight.
Yeah, when you mention such figures, 100 million, 200 million, that is really big money that could transform lives, in words and everything. And I'm just wondering, as you as the speaker, do you feel that the citizenry here in Nandi, are they enjoying the fruits of devolution?
They are not enjoying the fruits of devolution. In fact, if you do a survey in Nandi County, the amount of apathy is so high. Let me measure something. In 2018, when we called public participation forums for CIDP, ADP, and our budget estimate for the first year, I would wish you'd see the enthusiasm and the numbers. People came, so many. And they came at the ward level. When we proceeded to the sub-county level, they would come en masse until we would get bigger space to accommodate them. At times we would do in an open field because of the numbers. Call our participation right now. The number cannot even be 1/10 of that of 2018. Why? Because of frustration. And let me tell you, it's not that it is impossible to do. We actually explain to them, this is the money we receive. This is how we are portioning the money for the 5 years. Accept this 5 years, we do 2 ECD centers, 2 ECD centers, 2 ECD centers. When you fail to do that, would you think that person is happy to come back again? We gave money for ECD centers. By now, we should be doing 8 ECD centers per ward. But as we speak, governor has been launching 1 or 2 per ward. And he's promising 250.
6 or 7 are just underwater.
In fact, they are implementing projects of 17, 18. As we speak right now.
Oh, come on.
When it comes to, for example, health is being touted as our main area. I would acknowledge that we've really put our facilities, but health is just beyond putting our facilities. In fact, we've just been renovating. The ones that we are constructing, all of them are stalled. We are waiting to finish them. From Kenya, from Kapsabet referral to Chepterwai to Kobujoi to Maraba, they have not been finished simply because contractors haven't been paid their money. One of the biggest Achilles heels of our county government for this period of time has been pending bills.
Pending bills.
That has been a thorn in the flesh. Which contractor would want to do job if they're not paid?
Of course, no one
Worst
can do
of
the
it
job.
all, if indeed it was for the previous regime, are you aware we are accumulating a lot of pending bills during our time? We call it work in progress, but for how long? 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. So my summary would be the citizens of Nandi have not attained, and that's why they have a huge apathy. In fact, I'll surprise you. Every time I go out to the field, they really come at me until I have to remind them, no, I'm not the governor, but I'm the speaker. So I have to first telling them this is the reality.
They say when a crocodile comes out of the water and says that the fish is sick, you should be worried. I think that is what the people are getting out here. You're coming out and you're saying, okay, I think something is not right here.
And I do that backing with facts. I never do propaganda. Myself, I always believe in facts. So I'll tell the people, yes, money can delay. Let me be the devil's advocate even for the county executive. And the beauty, they will tell you, they know my position. We have always invited departments to county assembly. Before we get to impeachment, we normally invite them. We ask them to share the challenges. What can we do as an assembly? We assist. Can I show you, for example? The roads department came and said the strategy is to do hiring of machinery and purchase of machinery. We were the first county assembly to do a supplementary. 350 million to buy machinery. The second year, they couldn't do work. They said we need fuel. We appropriated 65 million. So that tells you we are pro-solution. Health will come and say this is not enough, we add them. We say, can we do per ward? We even give programs. When it comes to ECD centers, the same thing. They convince us, can we do this? When it comes to the bursaries, we agree and discuss with them. So we normally invite them and ask them, what is the problem? And the moment we see a problem, we always hit hard. In the education department, we've been able to impeach 2 CCs or pass voters of no confidence. The first 2 CCs were out because ECD centers were not happening. Number 2, you go to lands, water and lands. We have already chased one. You come to the other departments. Their complaint was predominantly about problem with procurement and finance. And last year, we really had a very strong attempt to be able to impeach the CC finance. And if you look at our report, it was very factual and very considerate on the issues. It's only that it fell by the political sword. But for us, if you ask me, we identify with the people, we pick their message, and we work hard to ensure that as a county assembly, our job is basically to represent the interests of the people. We also being accused of being in bed with the executive. I don't think so. Responsibility lies with the individual MCAs. At the same time, remember, each of them was elected at the ward level.
Of course,
they have a right to speak what they... Then the speaker has a very limited responsibility. My job is basically to conduct sessions, to guide and ensure that things are done legally, the legislations are what the law requires of us, standard, and lastly, facilitate and ensure everything's done. But when it comes to the political decision, it is the sole responsibility of the MCAs.
So, I mean, we're in this part of the execution, I mean, of these projects now, you know, sort of after being passed, you know, the legal process and everything till the money is released and all that. I mean, which part is... Where is the weakling? I mean, who is not doing what, where?
The weakness is, in one summary, lack of implementation by the county executive. That is where the failure begins. Do they implement procurement processes? Do they procure on time? Do they plan their activities commensurate with the flow of the money? Because if they had goodwill with contractors and they pay them pending bills, you would easily tell a contractor to finish the work and await payment because the payments, the money we received are monthly, and we can't receive lump sum at once. If the county executive was doing its work of paying contractors, it would mean a contractor would do our work and await payment. By the time we finish the financial year, the money has been paid. That doesn't happen. Importantly, I find the nature of management at the executive to be moribund because they normally pass the buck around. You call the CC education, they tell you the problem is finance. They call this, everyone talks about finance. When we hit the finance, they say it's not us. You say refer back to the boss. We say the governor will tell you the issue is, I think the finance people are seen to be unpopular, but I don't think it's a problem. So they pass the buck around and work is not done. Then we roll over. They are good in rolling over projects, but without rolling over money. So that if you don't spend your money prudently in this financial year and you roll over the projects, you put pressure to the next budget. And in fact, I would want to to give an alibi or an evidence. Auditor General's report for 18-19 shows that we were able to divert around 340 million from development to recurrent, or you find that we overshoot our budget lines. That is the county executive. So if you want an answer, it lies all there. And all those things had been documented.
Wow, that is quite detrimental there for a system like this that should be impacting the lives of people and, you know, getting amenities back to, you know, the grassroots level. But I mean, somebody would say, why are you coming out now? And, you know, and saying, okay, I think something is wrong over there. You know, it's been 4 years through, you know, since you got in. Why are you coming out now?
It's a very good question. I'm not coming out now. I used to speak these matters, but outside the glare of the media. Public participation since 2017-18 I've never missed. So I only used those channels to communicate. Number 2, I was very optimistic. And number 3, I would not be that person who from day one complains. I'm sure you've heard of the story of a boy who would raise alarm once, twice about fire, then there's no fire. By the time the real fire comes,
happened, nobody responded.
I wanted to avoid a scenario whereby from day one, we would be seen to be fighting the county governor. That was not the case. The first 3 years for me, my job was clear. Set in place systems, set in place processes, and work hard internally. That is why right now I'm telling you what we've done. We did all those 3 years. When I tell you that we've impeached 2 CCs in the education department, we've been able to impeach the CC in roads department. We've had a very serious attempt of impeaching the CC finance. We've been successful in seeking reorganization of the government in 2 occasions across all those departments. We've adopted more than 10 damning reports about the malpractices and the failures and incompetence of the county executive. That was enough testament to tell you that was our coming out, and that was my coming out. But this being the 4th year, it is time now to go to public with the same information. there'll be no excuse. Governor cannot come out now and say, the speaker frustrated me in 1718. He frustrated me in 1819. He frustrated me in 1920. That one cannot sell. That has been the thing that has been bedeviled against the senator, because he's being said that from day one he fought the governor. I didn't want to have that. And secondly, more importantly, leadership is about taking responsibility. How would I speak out in 2018 and yet we were in the process of trying to fix these things? Why would I come out and say that the county is incompetent, yet we were 1 year old? So my trajectory was simple: work hard internally. The last 2 years, go out to the people and account to them. Show them that what we've been able to do, where the problem is, because they'll ask you what has been happening. Then you share with them.
You have to present something.
Lastly, I wish to tell the people there's never been right or wrong time. The public has a right to information.
Of course.
And the Speaker's office is offering that right to information. I just want to demystify the fact that the Speaker doesn't vote in motions. The Speaker does not introduce motion. The Speaker cannot introduce a petition. I can only receive and ensure it is acted upon. Show me one citizen who's brought a petition, who's given a point in a public position and it has been ignored. Never.
Never.
My position is that I'm coming out right now because it is important as we go towards the election, we learn the lessons well. What we are having right now, and funny enough, can I surprise you? I'm not in any way interfering or I'm now blocking what the county executive is doing. Look at what we've done today. We've been able to adopt CFSP and the finance bill. We are 2 weeks late, and I have ensured by today we are finishing this week by having them adopted. We are the only assembly that has been doing 3 budgets a year, 2 supplementaries and 1 main budget. In fact, it is this year that they haven't given us a supplementary budget, but we have always been open door. County executive, when it came to COVID, to show you our goodwill and to show you my goodwill as a speaker, I was able to organize 3 budgets in a span of a month out of the emergency situation. We were the first assembly that had already adopted an emergency act in December, way before COVID was declared. So that by the time it was being declared, the emergency act was there. The only thing was to do the budgets. We offered them 181 million. Government came and offered them 118 million. We quickly appropriated. They came later and said they have received something from the World Bank, the 126 million. We came back again, 3 budgets. So that shows you.
Was that money used well?
As to whether it is now what we are investigating now, there's another committee undertaking review and auditing of the COVID funds. Then with the 181, I think they were cut off of time. They were able to spend around 35 because of their incompetence, as I keep saying. If they were fast enough, they would have spent even half the money, but they only spent 35. And then the other 126, the report aborted in our house. But on the preliminary, there were so many issues until we invited. In fact, some of the MCS wrote to World Bank, and they came around. We expect their report, and from the common man's view, they keep asking, how comes our footpath is too small and too narrow compared to Wasingishu, yet we receive the same money
from the World Bank?
Yes, from the World Bank, same money. All counties they receive money. I wouldn't want to judge. I want the people to judge so that when we talk about these things, they shouldn't say it's propaganda.
It created quite a debate.
It's for them to see. And there is more money coming. I want to see what can be done. I don't want to be pessimistic. I am a patriot. I believe that where we can support, we can support.
All that thought for a moment. Guys, we are now live from County 029, the County of Nandi, with the Honorable Speaker, Joshua Kiptoo. Remember, you can share in your feedback, your comment on the comment below. And remember, this has been powered by Age Group Media. For all your live streaming media production services, just call them on the number below your screen and they're gonna get you sorted. So there's a camp of people, Bwana Speaker, was saying that you're fighting the governor because yourself, you want to be governor.
I'm not fighting. Let's start from this. I'm not fighting the governor. I'm out in the public disseminating information and making people understand where we are failing. It's only that the person of interest for every county representative or county member is the governor, because he's the CEO of the county. Sure. The buck stops with him, and the rest of us are basically facilitative. So the fighting bit is misconceived. If I give the truth, if I give truthful information, if that is fighting, so be it, because telling people the reality and demystifying lies. One, we receive money. Money is delayed, but we receive all our disbursements by the close of financial year. We have budgeted and appropriated for the same money. There's no reason for them not being utilized. Number 4, the priorities of the county executive are upside down, and that's why we keep saying implementation has slowed down. They put more money on recurrent. If you look at our CFSP, and that is factual information, 77% of our money goes for recurrent. Operations and emoluments. 22% on development. What can you do for Nandi County? So I'm not fighting. My job is to demystify. I've not declared my interest. However, I've made it clear to the people that it is the people who decide. The time for campaigns will come. If they feel that I'm competent enough to be promoted to whatever position, I will leave it to the people. I don't want to be seen to be this gluttonous person who already has an office, has a responsibility,
so if people
and is already looking for another. In fact, show me, quote me anywhere where I've declared my interest for a seat. Nowhere. In fact, I've been speaking categorically as a speaker, and I've been telling people in my meetings and audiences, remember, I'm still the speaker. If there's something that you feel can be done, let's do it now. Let me give an example. I met athletes 3 weeks ago, and they gave me a raft of issues, and they complained, and I told them, remember, I'm still a speaker. What can I do? And they say there's a petition they're bringing. I was expecting it to be brought today, but they say I give them a bit of time. The issues the athletes are raising are things that the county assembly can be able to assist in some way. For example, we can ask questions as to why the Kipchoge Stadium has stalled. We can ask question why they have a road that they normally use for their rain. And we call ourselves source of champions, yet we don't support them. A 7-kilometer road. And if that road is done by the county purely for the athletes, so I have told them as a speaker, I'm going to raise they bring the petition, it will be processed, it will go to the floor of the house. The committee chair, youth and sports, which in this case is Honorable Cynthia Muge, who happens to be a member of the assembly for that ward, she'll be the best person to prosecute. And we will push hard and ask the roads department, can you consider that road purely for purposes of athletes? I will push the youth department and ask them, why haven't you done that? So I do that purely to tell people, I'm doing it because I am just reminding you there's an office and I still have responsibility. And I want to assure people, and this is one thing that has been coming out on comments. You are in government. You're telling us those things. Have you done? I'll remind people, by the time I'm telling you because I've acted. The only remaining thing I'm doing is to sharing information so that you are aware. An informed citizen is a powerful citizen. How would you be able to measure and know whether a county government has succeeded or not? You need information. Who has the information? The county assembly. So I don't come there bashing without giving you solutions. I also give solutions. I complain, I raise issues, and I give solutions. The departments, we will summon them, ask them what their issues, we give solutions. We allocate money, we follow up on implementation, we even give programs. Do you know my county assembly committee on roads are the one that normally gives program as to how many days machines can be per ward? That tells you we are pro-solution. So people should see that. Let us not have selective amnesia where I say you only complain. I just don't complain, I give solutions. Thank you.
Okay. Wow, quite an interesting conversation right here. Okay, so what has been going on and whatever, for me I stay in the capital, but my home is just Mosorat, Apple. And I meet people, I talk to them, I converse, I hear what everything they have to say about governance and politics and leadership in their county and all that. And there's one thing really that I had from an old man who said this. Listen carefully. That in 2017, in 2017 rather, we bestowed the responsibility, to a young, vibrant, energetic leadership to our county. And of course, as always, when that time comes, everybody is waxing lyrical about how they're going to transform, Nandi into El Dorado, the land of gold, and bring skyscrapers from New York, be planted in Kaiboy, those kind of things. But do you think the young leadership is Nandi? Has it been a letdown?
It's a very interesting question. I feel the pain and I feel the disappointment. To be honest, I've got that comment right up to my face that we've disappointed, and I would identify with them because the measure of success is implementation and execution. You promise this, deliver. And I can tell you, as a county, we have failed. That's a fact. I agree with him. However, I would want us to be objective in trying to focus on where did we fail. In 2017, when we were ejecting the first regime, people were fed up and disappointed and just say, we just need this team out. But no one bothered to go to the details. Why did it fail? Where did they fail? For this one, going to 2022, I am now occupying a gap. I come on the space. I come as a young person and first thing say, as a generation, now that the county executive and the senator, as well as the speaker, are young people, we are being judged as one. One, we acknowledge that as a county, we are not where we are supposed to be. We have failed. That one first I acknowledge. And I tell them, I accept. However, I come further and ask them, where do you think we failed? How have we failed? Now as a speaker, because I'm like an auditor, I've been able to sit, and in fact all the budgets have been signing because they have to pass through my hands to sign vellum for them to proceed to the county executive for implementation. I go further and explain to them, this is where we fail, this is how we fail, and this is how we can fix it. That's why I keep saying we can fix our problems if we first understand where our problems is. So as a generation, I come up with a prayer and an asking that it is not all lost. We're all young people. The future and the present is with us. It is only my generation that can correct and be able to set us on a path towards success, so that it cannot be seen that all of us failed. I as a speaker to be judged independently. Let them judge me as a speaker that I failed to execute my debates, I failed to rally the house, to whatever, to do the programs from legislation to oversight. I want to be accused that our processes were opaque. I want to be accused that we never tried, we never did anything when malpractices and inefficiency and incompetence were being witnessed by the county executive. I want to be judged. And I would want the public to judge us individually. Put the senator on the table, put the governor on the table, put the speaker on the table, and let every member of the public understand the role of each. In fact, sometimes I get backlash because people say, is that the speaker's responsibility? Because the speaker is the old model of a speaker, British system we borrowed, is a speaker who sits on the seat wearing that old colonial relic thing and robed nicely and go to the assembly and disappear to my home. I chose to be a different speaker. I chose to be a proactive speaker because I was given a responsibility to speak up, to be honest, and I'm a very open-minded person. And very, I call myself, I'm a progressive. That is my ideology. A progressive is someone who always believes in progress in whatever way, in whatever means. And I think I would identify very closely with the hustler narrative because I feel that is a progressive agenda, except that we have to put our mouth where our foot is. Actions must precede. So let us be judged individually and let us be measured accordingly. And as a generation, we just want to say, yes, maybe there's a disappointment, but the same can be fixed. We don't need an outsider. Same members of the generation can be able to sort it out. In fact, there's a Nandi saying that a generation can be fixed by the same. That it's better for someone from your own age set to correct you or to punish you or to give you chance to correct. That is what we are looking at.
Yeah, you're saying that, and I remember, that Mzee again followed with some doubtful statement. Bado tutaamini kweli vijana? I was like, okay. He said, we have already seen, and I was like, okay, but you said the generation is the one that is the same generation now is the one
and
that
maybe
comes
the answer also to them is that we are their children. You can have 10 children, you can have 4 children. It's only in our culture that we never count. One can not be okay, but the others can be 9. Okay. And as a father, I'm sure you'll be proud showcasing the successful one. Alafu ule mwenye ameshindwa, you put him by the side, tell him, no, don't appear, just be there. Just be there. And then you say, no, the others are okay, and we use the word sere, and they say they're okay. There's no problem with them. So I would want them to see, I want the older generation to see us as their children. I want the older generation to have trust in us, and we want the older generation not to see that they wasted that blessing they gave us. It is not in vain.
Yeah, but I'm sure you do agree with me, Bona Speaker, that the citizenry as well needs sort of to remain internally vigilant. When you get into 2022 and a series of other people come in again, the citizens now to vet these people well, and really, as you said in 2017, we just wanted to get rid of the other governor and just put someone in there. But I mean, this time I think the citizens should be very vigilant in terms of
for us to have the citizen being vigilant, it calls for information. And that is where I am. My crusade is coming from there. I'm leading a crusade of information sharing in the county. Let people see my campaign as a public campaign towards disseminating real information. Why? I want my voter to be empowered. I want my voter to know the true state of affairs. I also want to offer alternative and give solutions to my voter and tell the voters, if this can be done at this level, the county government can be fixed. And our solutions lies here. We never look for solutions in Nairobi. The solutions will be found here. And this time, we are going to speak up. I'm going to every village, I'll go to every ward, I'll go to every sub-county, I'll go to every church, I'll go to every mosque, I'll go to every baraza, I'll meet the youth, I'll meet the women, I'll meet the old. I will have a honest engagement. And I'm coming with open arms and open hands. I wish also to listen. I'm just not giving information, I'm also absorbing. This experience as a speaker has shown me what leadership is all about. And that is my new philosophy on leadership. Leadership is about offering a platform to others. If I'm given a responsibility to lead the county, or I'm being given a responsibility to be a speaker here, my job is to create a platform for ideas to flow through me. I go to public participation, whatever they say, I take them critically and ensure they are implemented. I meet young people with very many ideas, I take on board, they have to be implemented. If our county governments across the republic would have the same mindset, trust me, would go far. But the idea of leadership being blocking others and being exclusive and being so far from the public, I want to demystify that. If I was to be that quorum speaker or the judge type of a speaker, I would just be sitting here. No one would see me. Maybe once in a while on TV. But I decided I'm rolling my sleeves. I'm going to the villages. I'm going to engage the proactive, progressive politics. Listen to them. Give them info. As we go to 2022, we'll be informed and we'll have clarity on what we want, what can be done. And I don't want to give promises. My campaign is not based on giving promises that this can be done, this will be done.
So you don't have a manifesto yet?
I am insisting on solutions and promises will come from the people. I want to go to Chemase and acknowledge with them that our problem are roads. On health, we need to be very specific on, for example, lowland malaria and snake bites, so that we say if we want to have an effective health center in Chemase, the ambulance must always be effective throughout. Because of our propensity to snake bites, it needs a quick action. Number two, we need water across, and we are below the escarpment, so you just need we can easily use gravity. So I would want a case whereby we form solutions at the village level. By the time I come out and say I'm vying for this or I'm asking for their mandate, it will be on the basis that we agreed as a people, including myself, that this can be done. So let me be the messenger. Let me be the person who is going to deliver on agreed, shared promises. And I would want it to come from the people. A leader leads a people. You don't lead abstractly. As a speaker, I've learned it in a big way. The MCS bestowed me on a responsibility. I've learned through listening to them. If not, they would have impeached me.
Oh, yes, they would have. So, as true to your word, you know, objectivity, I don't know, would somebody sit back and say, is it you know, I think in a system, let's say with the devolution, let's say in a county like ours of Nandi, me being a resident here, you know, I don't know, that sense of common purpose, you know, what informs every person's decision to go for a position of leadership. You know, if they want to transform society, be it the governor, be it the senator, be it the speaker, or even the MCS. You know, people would sometimes sit back and wonder what is the, you know, the reason for the attrition we sometimes normally see. Why would these people not come sort of like a merge whatever thing they have, you know, that sense of common purpose, and just work towards building, you know, and making, you know, like this county a source of champions for sure. Because let me tell you for fact, you know, there are young people out here, we know, they have ideas, robust, progressive ideas, you know, but sometimes just things, you know, they're being strangled, you know, as they try to navigate through. But I think there's dire need for something to be done. What do you think?
Your question sums up the problem of this county and the republic at large. We are a country where we seek leadership position for personal aggrandizement and personal growth. It's about career path. Common purpose is what we lack. We are not a patriotic nation, especially among the leaders, leave alone the people, the leadership. We never have a common purpose. We never have a common objective. When I came in as a speaker, I remember my first excitement or enthusiasm was that I would be able to be in a position to influence. And a governor can be my witness. The first 3 months, I was the most accessible and most proactive, even regarding his policies. I kept bugging him, telling him, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? I remember I used to invite CCs to my office, here, and ask them, what do you think the assembly can do? Where can we help you? I remember I had a sit down with the CC lands and water. That is Honorable Jacob. By then, he was the land CC. And I remember asking him that I grew up when I was seeing the escarpment green. How can we help you to ensure we can reforestate? On water, I actually did something very simple. I actually went out of my way to look for this Lake Victoria South, Lake Victoria North, and I was able to convince the governor that can we have a roundtable with these people so that we can have a water map for the entire county, so that they can identify for us the resources, they can give us a projected amount needed over 5 years for us to make Nandi water efficient. Surprisingly, I even chaired one meeting at the county executive because the governor was absent, which is an absurdity. But it was the common purpose I was looking for. And if you look at my career path, or if you look at my track record the first 2 years, I was consensus. And I would facilitate my MCAs to go and have a session with the county executive. In fact, I paired my committees with the department, Committee on Agriculture with the Department on Agriculture, to come up with estimates. They would start from that level. By the time it comes to the assembly, there's a unity of purpose. So the only thing that has been absent, I wish the governor would have taken the responsibility to be the person bringing together the other people. Other thing that is sorely lacking is the synergy between county and national government leaders. I don't remember a meeting where the governor, the speaker, the MPs have sat in one session. To be honest, never.
Never?
Never, since 2017. That is a lost opportunity.
So you can confirm that?
Never.
You've never sat?
Never. Formal meeting and say that these are our priorities in Nandi County? Never. We've only sat as county assembly and county executive so many times. Assembly, governor and ourselves. MPs with MCS? Never. MPs with the governor? Never. Speaker, MPs, senator, women rep, MPs? Never. So you have an answer. Because let me tell you, if we had that case, it would be much easier. Some things would have achieved. Lobbying even for national projects would be much easier. We go as a county and say, even if you get 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers of tarmac road, we would easily achieve that. But that has never been achieved, nothing. If there's never a meeting. And that's why by the way we meet in events mostly. We meet in events.
Events too. Some wedding, some funeral.
We meet in events.
But we
prosecute matters on events. But everyone is running his thing. Governor runs his budget. My speaker, as a speaker, I run the assembly. The MP has a CDF and a team to run to. The senator. Maskini, the senator has no kitty. At least for him, he is always in the Senate. You always see him active on the Senate plenary because they are the only group of leaders that don't have money. You have the women rep given a very small money, I think 10 million or something. So you'll see the women rep running her programs. So at the end of the day, that common unity of purpose sorely lacks in Nandi. 100%. And I think I have personally tried twice to convince the governor to look, it is you. You are the
backstop set.
You are the father of this county. The way President rallies together MPs and everyone, it is you to call. Maybe he's discouraged by his bad relationship or not so good relationship with the members of Parliament. Maybe I can't speak on his behalf, but I assume, and maybe over the time, because of lack of meetings, you've seen where we are now.
Can he still redeem himself?
I don't think so. At this point, you see the kind of the relationship. It is sour. I can't see how you can have in one session the members of Parliament and the governor on the other side.
From now the constituencies in Nandi and
it will be very
the governor difficult. Just having conversations about development in the county
I think
level.
Where we are right now, everyone is trying to scramble and
find that thing in the table.
Do something because the citizens are up in arms seeking to question and give you a scorecard. I wish myself as a speaker would have that platform because my platform is the MCS. In fact, I'm just overreaching, going to the public because the public did not elect me, but I owe them responsibility as a speaker of the county assembly. I was elected by the MCS, but I go back to them. And you know, the only challenge I face, unlike MPs and governor and the MCS, I have to first explain what my job is. I have to make them see my job as a speaker is this and this and this and this, and this is why I've been able to do this. That's why I tell them. In fact, some are saying, why don't you impeach the governor? I tell them the speaker cannot impeach the governor. That is not the work of the speaker. Unless I'm an MCA. An impeachment motion can either be brought by popular initiative from the members of public or the MCS can initiate. The speaker is only to approve or disapprove. And for me, I have a checklist. County Government Act gives me, my standing order gives me the procedure. Have they met the threshold of the procedure? I follow. So people should have those realities. And by there I struggle telling people, look, the speaker cannot impeach the governor.
I cannot impeach.
I am the one to oversee the impeachment process.
So the people have told you to impeach the governor?
No, you'll hear people say, if you are complaining and doing this, why don't you?
So remove.
I tell them that's not my responsibility. The buck stops with the MCA and the public.
But you say you continue disseminating information because you know I've seen videos of you in the same events. You said you meet with these people, you know, you giving out figures and numbers. You know, there's this money that came from here. The budget, you mentioned something close to, I don't know, was it 7.4 billion?
At the moment, we can say the county has been able to receive not less than 20 billion over the 4 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because on average you do 6 in this is our 4th year. So I would assume by the time we close this financial year, our returns should be reading 23 to 25 billion.
That money is money that should transform a county. Big time.
Big time. In fact, even if you say 2 billion would be circulating every year, this county would be so far. I was trying to do a simple survey asking the branch managers of banks, and they're saying they're not failing us. If you go to other counties, Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Vihiga, the the branch managers are able to hit their targets. But for us, one work we give outsiders mostly. More importantly, we don't pay. In fact, the more critical problem is non-payment. You give work but you don't pay. So when you don't pay, the ripple effect goes all the way to the village.
Cartels.
I don't know if I'll call them cartels. It's a simple case of mismanagement. How are you able to give out work and don't pay? County Assembly, I don't have any pending bill. In fact, one of the fights we had with the county executive was my building that we are trying to finish, the county assembly building. They are trying to frustrate us on payment. But so far so good, I can confirm to the public that we have amicably reached a resolution and we would wish to finish our project. This is not my personal project. I cannot even take credit for it. First thing first, I'll remind the people that this project started in the first assembly. I'll give credit where it is due. In fact, I owe success of this building to the first assembly. The MCS and the speaker who are able to push for the inception of this project. When we came in, the project was 35% done. Now we've pushed by 50%. We are now at 85% done. 15% is done. The next time you come here, you'll see we are finished. But I apportion the credit. 35% was by that people, and by virtue they pushed to have such a project. Who am I to come and say it's mine and all that? And that's what I've been reminding the county executive. Let's not personalize these working spaces. And that is why, as a speaker, I think I am half satisfied. I could do more, but I'm limited by the law. I don't vote. I cannot even lobby the MCS. How do you lobby the MCS and you're the one sitting on the...
No, of course you can't.
You know, everyone says rally the MCS.
Rally MCA.
But you're
Leta pamoja. Tuchomoe.
But you're sitting there as a judge. You can imagine a judge of a high court coming out and telling the defendant, I want you to come say this and this and this. Then he goes to the plaintiff and tell the plaintiff, I want you to say this and this and this. Will that still be a judge?
Oh, I'll be...
The MCS will ask for my recusal. That's why when it comes to the work, I am very objective. I don't let my personal feelings get in the way. My thinking, I don't let it get into the way of a credible process. And my MCS have been keen to see that. I speak out to the public giving facts so that I am not seen to be taking sides. Yes.
Wow. Those tuning in right now, remember we are live from the county 029, the source of champions from the heart of the county, that is Kapsabet, right from the Speaker's office. That is Honorable Joshua Kiptoo, that is the youngest speaker in the 254. And I mean, as you just get to wind up this, and you can of course, share your questions you have down in the comment section below. And I mean, I'd want to get your thoughts. I know the county, assembly voted for the BBI. I mean, what are the prospects, going forward of that, just to touch on it a bit?
My assembly stood with the public. The Nandi people said they don't approve of BBI. We could not go against that.
It reflected the will of the people. It
reflected the will. In fact, one thing I even said the other day on K24, we were among the last assemblies to consider BBI because we actually did due process. I advertised 7 days for public participation. We went at the sub-county levels because of the time limitation and COVID. We couldn't afford to go all the way to the wards, but we went at the sub-county headquarters and we actually recorded people's views, including signatures. We tell them, after you've given your views, sign your name, your ID number, and say whether you accept or not. If I show you our returns, 90% say they don't approve BBI.
90%?
90%. In fact, the only constituency that had 50-50 was Aldai. Yes, Aldai was the only one that was, and I think it was because they saw that maybe it may be pointless, because that morning when we were in Aldai, the Super Tuesday was happening, and up to 43 assemblies were able to pass it. We were among the minority. I wanted us to be considered in history, that one, we were following the will of the public. Number two, we were raising credible issues. Remember, Nandi County is the one that went to the Supreme Court seeking the court's intervention on 3 issues. Give public the right to vote on a multiple question. Number two, give procedure. Do we vote under absolute majority or simple majority? But more importantly, how to conduct public participation that is meaningful and viable, that public can feel whatever they say we were able to put. And I think the Supreme Court declined to exercise its jurisdiction by saying the matter being in High Court, they say let the High Court consider it, so that if there will be appeal, that's when it can come up. But that shows you we were for the process, due process of the law, and for us we wanted the voice of the people to be heard. We've done that, and I think where it is right now, it's up to the National Assembly and the public. It will come back to the public in case of a referendum, but as it is where it stands, the assemblies have done their bit. The threshold has been met. National Assembly and Senate are the one to consider now. Subsequently, if they pass a referendum bill and have specific aspect of the constitution that can only be changed through a referendum, then the ball will be in the court of the public. We'll go back to the public and tell them, now it is you. We're just coming to educate you on the provisions. In fact, one thing I've been telling people in Nandi County is that let's have two sides of the coin. If it fails, so be it. If it succeeds, one key issue that we'll have to grapple with. BBI gives the Nandi one constituency. What is the formula of getting that constituency?
One constituency.
How do you divide the constituencies? The biggest constituencies are Aldai, followed by Mosop, Chesumei. Number 4 is Mgwen. Number 5 is Nandis. Number 6 is Tindret. But Tindret has the biggest landmass. Where I come from, Tindret, and we are the most marginalized. The biggest ward in Nandi by size of land is Songosoba. But the heavily populated ward is Kilibone with 9 locations.
Wow.
Most of the wards have 2 locations. Now I have 9 locations. You give 3 million per ward for bursaries. How do you want Kiliboni people to divide?
Sure.
So because of that, one of the biggest contentious issues that I want the public in Nandi to start preparing, in case the BBI goes through is the question of the one constituency. On top of that, we are cosmopolitan.
Oh yeah.
Underlying that thing is coming up also clearly. How do you want to ensure that there is fair representation,
across the county? That is the incredible. Wow. An amazing conversation right here, guys. I mean, as we just got to wind up this, what should people, going forward, sort of expect from you?
The expectations are only 2 things. Number 1, Assembly will have a strong finishing power, and I wish you would see our CFSP that we've adopted today. Our county fiscal strategy paper tries to bring to fruition a bill that we did in 18 and the governor refused to implement, Community Development Act, that is a precursor to ward development. We've literally almost decentralized most monies to ward level. Education, we've said 3 million per ward for ECD. Water, we've said 6 million per ward. Roads, we've put 546 million for purposes of also distribution to the wards. Number 4, bursaries, 120 million, and we say 3 million per ward. Agriculture, we've insisted that things be done at the ward level. We've also instituted an ad hoc committee that should look at our revenues, including the Kiborgok Tea Estate. So the thing about the county assembly, we are giving our last push, so that even when the next assembly comes, they can pick from here. And we are not just going out in the field. We are pretty active here. We want to ensure that we adopt our budget on time, that the county executive led by governor will not have an excuse of not implementing. The second thing, expectation, is that expect to see more of me out there in the field. I think I'm really inspired and interested in dealing with the public to be able to know what has been, what can be. I'm more pro-solution. I'm not just coming to shout on top of the roofs. I'm coming to educate the masses, open their minds, and give them an alternative. I'm coming with a view and telling them it's time to have people-centered leadership. Myself as a speaker, I would want to be a product of the people-centered leadership. I don't want to impose myself. I want to be embraced, and I want to be created, mentored, and possibly be considered by the public for whatever position. The thing is, public reigns supreme, not the person. We need to overturn the pyramid. When you have one person thinking and reasoning for the society, it becomes counterproductive because there's a limit. You are one mind. But when we have the society reasoning and having one person to channel to and a person to listen, I want to offer myself to be that person who listens. I want to offer myself to be that person who engages, and that's why I'm using my position as a speaker to engage, get feedback. Those that can be implemented here, implemented. Those that can be highlighted for purposes of austerity or posterity, we are going to do them.
Talking of pro-solution as we end up this, would you be open to sort of like an open forum with the governor, or what rather would you even tell him?
Any minute, any day. I am open.
What would you tell him? I mean,
put
going
us
forward,
in a platform.
What would you tell him?
I'll tell him that please save our generation. Give us a last hooray in the last 1 year. We are being battered. Myself as a speaker, I'm being battered left, right, and center because of his failings. Number 2, I will tell him that he can count on the county assembly for support in this last 1 year. One thing he can take to the bank: we are not going to frustrate. We are not going to block. But we are going to be on the solution side. We are going to help his team where they need help. We are going to stop any malpractice for the last time, if there's any that exist. And I would ask him to do his best, being the last 1 year. And it is our best chance to be able to finish anything. And the best gift he will give the Nandi people, he should be open to accept. He should be open to accept where mistakes were done, and it purely and fairly falls squarely on his desk and feet.
Wow.
That is it.
That is quite profound. Into that camera, just speak to the people of Nandi, the majestic people of Nandi. Just tell them something as you just wind up this.
So thank you very much. My message to the people of Nandi, as a speaker, Joshua Kiptoo Cherwon, a resident of Chemase, and person who's been born, raised, educated, and made who I am as a person by the entire Nandi County. I want to first convey my sincere appreciation for the support they have accorded the County Assembly for the last 4 years. All the time we've asked them to come for public participation, they have never failed us. All the time we've asked them to help us when it comes to project monitoring and evaluation, they have been with us. So I want to convey my sincere appreciation. Together with the MCS, they're the ones who put me on this seat, and they're the ones who entrusted me with this responsibility. One thing I can assure the people of Nandi, the last 1 year we are giving our best. We are not going to relent. We're just not going to talk as people think. Our job is basically to ensure that your voices are heard. The Assembly provides a platform. I would want you to follow us on our platforms. I want you to watch our live sessions on Facebook, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on the WhatsApp platforms, and see what the Assembly is all about. And if there's anything that has been pending, please bring it to our attention. We are an open institution, and we have a very credible working team that can deliver. Lastly, I want to ask that during these times of COVID, let's take significant precaution so that we stay alive. Our county needs all of us, and each one of us is very important. So I would ask that we be careful, we stick to what we've been told to do in terms of wearing of masks, sanitizing, and not crowding too much on events. Even as politicians, we are equally reducing our engagements purely for that realization. Above all, we want to wish all the Nandi County citizens God's blessing, and I'm praying that join me in this journey as we finish this 1 year of our regime, and as well as looking into the future, providing solutions to our great county of Nandi. Kongwe missing.
Incredible.
Thank
that
you.
was a good one. That was a good one, Bwana Speaker. Tumeshukuru sana, and of course we can't thank you enough for making time. You know, and I've thoroughly, honestly, enjoyed this conversation. And yeah, we hope the people are gonna see, they're gonna learn, they're gonna pick insights from your personal story, and even from your mandate as a speaker. You've shared quite a number of things. You're gonna watch it, and you're gonna share it around. And guys, remember, this has been powered by Age Group Media. For all your live streaming, for all your productions. You can give them a call on the number down on your screen. But always remember, Nandi News is where this platform, these interviews airing rather, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And of course, you can be sure to subscribe and follow the pages. And of course, we're going to be having more leaders coming on board to just try to understand their mandate and beam light on their roles and and whatever thing they've been able to accomplish. And just we make sure by the time we get into the election, we can make informed decisions as a citizenry. So I've been your host for today. My name is Rono Chonginyo, and I hope that you stay safe, and God bless.